all of my food as soon as I buy some. Pepper's I think at the grocery store getting me more snacks. We having a pajama party because these pajamas are so comfy.
She
All
did
right, so we're
not
supposed to
like
look
me
at
showing that part.
memes may or may
You have
not
to justify your action.
I've posted a short promo for Saturday. Anyway, these are comfy as hell. I want to live in these.
I
Memes,
wouldn't
you
use
clip
the
this
footage
shit,
if
do
it
not
didn't
clip
make
me
her
without
look
my
good.
logo.
Here's the
There's a
thing,
little matching
editorial
shirt
discretion here.
on my butt. Clip me in it.
See, she said it. She said it. She also didn't share her footage.
A few minutes later.
I watched the whole promo without y'all.
Whoa.
Did I not share it?
No, you did not share it.
I'm sitting here talking to videos.
Flashback.
It's almost spelled right next time, damn.
Rumor had it you resembled this.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Well done.
It's these silences that get.
I was listening to this when I was out on a
The
run.
Sounds of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. We've been watching your reaction to it, thinking,
no, I didn't understand it. I don't want to watch it again.
It's got to be something so wickedly weird
This is
that
why I
Piper
do it.
is
I
not
just send
sharing it
people
with the rest of
links.
us.
People they think exist, and
Oh my god. Fucking Fizz did this like last week, or she was streaming. Alright, I thought it was.
I mean, just looking at your eyes at some of the footage. I mean, really, Piper.
She put on her be right back screen. She had to go steal some more of my snacks, probably.
No. Fizz, I don't know how to put this, but I think that's for the entire household.
What? I'm sitting there yelling at a video about a cat that came on after. She comes back and she's playing Destiny with two other people, and she's talking to them. When she unmuted everything, she forgot to unmute them to the she forgot to unmute the
There on
headphones,
at least one
so that
occasion where she was
people
talking.
watching
I don't know
her
how
Twitch
long.
stream could not only hear the game, but could hear the other people talking. They could hear what she could hear. And nobody can see what I got.
It's
Damn
okay,
it.
Fizz. We
She kept that all to herself and had a really long, a really long one-sided conversation. And it was a really good conversation. She was so pissed.
So, now that that's out of the way,
Throwback Thursday.
hi Fizz, your audio is very low.
God damn this microphone. And the fact that I can't.
I'm not sure if you were talking at all there. The volume was also kind of high. Here, whoa. You got, here, we'll do this. We'll give you 24 seconds. You'll know what that means.
Oh, I know I should be wary. Still I venture someplace scary. Ghostly haunting, I turn loose.
It's showtime!
Welcome to everybody now and temporally in the future. I'm the current host of this show, as my co-host is blipping in and out of different audio functionality. It's okay. It's okay. We all have different problems. Some of them are more personal than others. But, hi, Fizz.
Hi.
That's much better.
Well, I don't know why, but the microphone defaults to shut the hell up mode when it's not in use. I don't.
Is it like a security feature?
I mute it when it's not in use already, and then when I unmute it, apparently it sets the gain down to like 10. Now it's at 30.
It might be one of like those blow out your mic, but I don't know. To be fair, if something errs on security, is that really a bad thing in the age of the internet?
Oh no, it's good. It's just that I don't. I feel like I shouldn't have to reset all of the mic settings every single time I turn the microphone on. This is supposed to be fancier than my old mic, and it's not user friendly.
Have you updated Windows 10 recently?
Well, yeah. You pretty much have to do that every day.
See, the reason I say that, and to be fair, I haven't really used a Windows system in a very long time. After that last blue screen of death, I'm like,
rip.
and especially like, I just want to play some Skyrim. Let me play some Skyrim. Blue screen of death. Look at that shiny gray Apple product. I'm like, I already have other things. I'm like, will I not get blue screen of death? Macs can lock up. It does happen. I don't think it's been a blue screen of death. It may have flickered blue. Well, it had a screen of death.
They just give you the little wheel indefinitely until the end of time. That's what Macs do.
Yeah. People got a lot of questions about time. I'm actually starting to have some more confidence that, at least, and again, I'm totally biased, at least one of the Monastery's videos of the time boundary actually might be true. Again, totally biased. That's that wacky video that I put to Denver the Last Dinosaur, where it's like, you're going to... The crazy thing is, those silly little videos about just like talking about geometric shape, I feel like that's probably what this channel is just going to be more of, just because it's like, I just literally just clip like 10 minutes of something that there was stuff, chop it up, add in some other cool things. It's a trippy animation. It's a cool song. It's a retro. We got... I think it might be close to surpassing the number of views that my interview with Professor Stephen Wolfram got. Silly little 4-minute video. Well, and that's the thing. Why? Because that's entertaining. It's like, who really wants to listen to a dude talking about math like live for like 10 to 30 minutes at a time? It's like, that's a very niche audience.
Why?
Well, basically, it's... Well, why do people talk about pop culture and stuff? It's a reference point. Some people are familiar with, right? That's how these things work. That's how people get networked and everything together. Different people communicate. We come onto the internet of stuff and things. We speak our minds. Oh, hey, Dan. Good to see you there. Yes. And that's the crazy thing. Just... I've had this channel for a while, and I've just gone through. It's like the algorithm doesn't know what to do with me. I totally accept that. That's totally fine. I realize it's like, wait a second, just randomly, it's like, I think one of my videos, probably because I think YouTube converted into a short, it's like, I'm just taking a video with my phone while I'm out in my car smoking a cigarette. Freaking, and it's like, why Tim Pool is wrong about this. It's like, I bring up a point. It's like, yeah, you're bringing up a point, but that's not what it's saying. In order to get this, I'm not an attorney. That was my father, Mr. Beams. God rest his soul. It's like, yeah, I understood. I was just pointing out something in his argument. I'm like looking at it, I'm like, oh, it's got like thousands of more views than like most of my other things where I actually like spent effort and did things. It's like, I see. That's why the world doesn't really surprise me. I look at like all of this BS. It's like, well, yeah, look at the incentives. What are people incentivized to do? Be like, oh my God, look at this crazy stuff. I know. I was very close to starting a lot more fires myself personally. That's why it's good to have friends that are a lot smarter than you to talk you out of different things. You weigh your options. Fizz, your thoughts?
Head empty.
Your head? Okay, so let's get to the other part of this. Why does cleaning your ears feel so good?
Ooh.
Because that's actually part of the title of the stream, which I need to finish shilling out here. So, Fizz, why is it something as simple as taking a little bud of cotton, giving it a whirl around your ear, can feel so dang nice?
Right? And sometimes it's not even because there's a buildup or anything. In fact, supposedly doing the cotton swab thing is supposed to be bad for you.
I've heard that.
But the ear cleaning has always
I've
been
also heard
like
that about red meat, and unfortunately, I understand there are strong arguments against both. I still like both very much.
Right? It's
I'm not
activating the
saying I'm
right
willing
parts
to
of
give.
the
Yeah.
brain. It's activating the reward center basically. So if we weren't supposed to do it, why is it so nice?
That's that's a good question, and actually at some point it's like, if I do speak to Stephen Wolfram again, part of me is like, I can't wolf block Fizz twice, and if we were gonna bring him on, I'd be curious about you and him talking about biology. Because like that's not really my jam, but just even right there, I'm just like, Fizz is not a doctor or anything, but she's probably watched a lot of stuff online and been able to talk to Piper and other interesting people, and yeah, it's all right. So why does it feel good for our ears? Like, what's the deal with ears and stuff?
I don't know why because I'm thinking part of it is because nothing really touches the spot. And you got to be careful with the spot, right? Because you go any further,
what do you
you
mean
stab
the
your
spot?
eardrum, and then it don't feel so good. It
Oh
feels
no, that's very bad. Yeah, you don't want to
Yeah.
go too deep. That's a bad day.
You got to go, but you go far enough into the ear canal, and I think you hit a spot that just stuff doesn't touch. And as long as you're touching it gently, it gives you the it's like the tingly
It's like an ear G spot.
Yeah, but not as intense. But I still think it has something to do with that. It's a spot that does not normally feel anything other than maybe air and water. Something
wax.
Your fingers can't get there.
It's hard to reach.
Yeah. Unless you got really long claws.
Oh, I see. Is this why wolves are always extra happy?
Oh, I don't know if they're extra happy.
I don't know. Maybe with some tasty snacks.
Because to get to the part of their ear canal, the wolves can't be really all that precise in getting there, so I don't think that they clean their ears very easily.
So now is that for all wolves? How about monster girls? I'm getting a little personal. If I go too personal, let me know.
That's different because as long as we've got like actual fingers, we're way more dexterous, so we can be more careful and reach more places.
Okay, so Fizz, I apologize, but I have to confront you on this. Do you have fingers or big paws? Because I believe I've seen iterations of you with both. Spill the beans.
I have fingers when I need them, when I concentrate. But when I don't, they're big paws.
So you're like Monster Girl Luffy.
Yeah, they kind of change depending on what I need. Is it Luffy?
Depending on your imagination. Oh my god, your base form is like Gear 5 already. There we go.
That's the only thing that seems to do it, though, is the hands, the paw hands.
Okay. No, that's convenient. I'm like, all right, if you need to handle tasty snacks or pow a foe in the face with an oversized paw.
Yeah.
I mean, that
when
seems
I'm
like
sleeping, when I'm asleep, they are always big old paws because I'm not focusing at all.
Oh, that's very convenient. You have built-in pillows.
Right? It's kind of nice.
And I'm not even saying that in like the creepy Master Roshi way right there. It's like, although then that just got inferred there because nobody would ever take that out of context there. But I'm like, my God, do big poofy paws.
What? and then a big fluffy tail if my legs get cold.
So that's good engineering, folks. But all right, so about cosmic stirring. So the whole thing is that I was throwing this around the other day. It's like, all right, you know how there are like all those different councils and stuff? How people have like high councils, gray councils, dark councils, light councils, this and that, hollow girl councils and everything. Fizz, I would totally vote for you, but it is what it is. I was thinking about a cosmic council. I don't care if there's already one. I want to set it together with people I know, talking about the universe of stuff and things.
Oh,
if that's something that you,
is that different from breaking the multiverse stream?
We're trying to figure out what's actually going on rather than destroy it all.
Oh,
we're doing the opposite of what we're doing here.
Slightly less comedy, more science.
Yes, but also the thing that I've noticed, it's like I like the science. People will go in different science ways, but then it's like then you always have like the spiritual, the different aspects, or just like the ways of like going from different information states. Because it's like human beings, it's like, all right, we have our language, we have our words and everything. It's like, all right, can we communicate exactly what we mean within these given structures that we currently have? Or is there like a way beyond that? Like other ways to resonate? Because it's like, hey, okay, so here's the thing. Here's one of the nerdiest things. It's like, so I follow this guy called like the Math Sorcerer, mostly because he was called the Math Sorcerer, but he also like apparently I think he teaches or like he was really into math. So it's like he talks about like his hardest math class like he ever took, and it's like it was some like other like it wasn't like this crazy class. It was just like something like general like or crazy like some topology class. It's like, all right, you're talking about surfaces and stuff, and then they had this new teacher. The new teacher came in and he did something completely different. And he was going up to the board and he was like going through all these crazy things. And like, he never assigned them any work, never assigned them any homework, never gave any exams. And at one point, halfway through each class, he would just turn around and be like, it's elementary, right? With a big grin on his face. Nobody would say a dang word. He'd just go back to doing the thing. And they just went all throughout the class, like the entire year. And the very end of like the course or probably like the semester or whatever it was, like last class is like 15 minutes less left. He turns, he's like, probably should give you all exams. Hands out these exams, it's take home and everything, gives them like a week to do it. And nobody knew what the heck they were doing. It's like everybody turned in things, like everybody completely failed. They all got B's. Apparently they got like whatever, like they got like a B for attendance and or like an A+ for like attendance, and it's like, yeah, you completely bombed the last exam, you bombed the final. Nobody ever asked the question. Maybe had they asked, things would have been explained and everything, but it's like, you didn't ask. It's like, well, he didn't tell, and you sat through an incredibly crazy difficult class. Failed the final exam and got a B. He showed up. Half of life is just showing up. I had a politician tell me that once.
I would have asked the question. I probably would have been like, can you slow down and also do all that over again? And that would have been, and then I would keep asking that same question like the whole time.
What?
Exactly.
Wait. No. About what?
About if he can slow down.
Who?
That's what I would have asked. If I was in this dude's class.
Oh. I apologize. Drugs are bad.
Which one's on him? You or him?
No comment. Why don't people do that anymore? Like, isn't that... Oh my God. Like, see, like, Fizz, these are the things that bother me. I just sit back, I'm like, I remember growing up watching like the cartoons from the 50s that they had like put into like, color in like the 60s and the 70s, like the old Superman and like it's like, all right, it's like you have journalism. You have journalists investigate things. Journalists ask questions that maybe weren't always convenient. And and to be fair, hashtag not all, and probably not even most is the thing. I don't know, but it just, you look at the incentives, it's like, I'll give you an example. I'm probably not going to do this now, but it's like people are showing me these things where it's like, all right, it's like the WHO, the World Health Organization, it said like there's a chance that like excessive like aspartame consumption, it's like it may lead to cancer or something along those lines. I'm not a doctor. This does not condone any medical advice, but like they're saying that, I'm like, so what they're saying is the same thing that like sweet and low packets used to say about like I don't know, like aspartame or whatever, like showing to cause cancer in lab rats or something. I'm like, so the same thing that people have been saying for like 30 years, but they're not adjusting their warnings. And it's like, well, my thing is the whole thing is like, I'm going through this. I'm like, I'm looking for comment, and somebody at one point from like one of the administrators for like Bevco or something like that, it's like he's saying it's like aspartame is or he's saying something. It's like, no, I disagree with that. And somebody tweeted at me and like a bunch of other like kind of like sciencey channels and stuff. I'm like, I actually found like the Twitter account of the dude it's at. It's like he actually has a smaller Twitter account. So I feel like it's kind of punching down in a way, Fizz. I'm like, yes, he's an administrator. He's kind of said that, but I'm like, it's his personal account mostly. Some folks in the work things tag. I'm like, it feels dirty. It feels dirty. He's got a picture with his family and stuff like that. I'm like, no. It's like, maybe I'll reach out. I should probably just send him an email. Just reach out for comments or something like that. Like, do journalism things rather than be like, let's start a fight with some guy. People can get into a flame war because it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I've lost my trolling nature or something. It just, I don't.
I think when there's not as much at stake, trolling is fine. But if you hold like a certain position and you're doing it while on the job, that's a little different.
Hey, Thomas, and apparently there's been a number of folks that have done Klingon. I think, who is it? Wasn't it Sheldon from like The Big Bang Theory? He tried to do Klingon for someone's wedding, and it's like he said no Klingon. I feel like that was his own wedding. I don't even know if that's a thing, but well, see, Thomas, the thing is, if any of that was true, and again, I'm not a doctor, this is not medical advice, but Thomas is making the claim that basically aspartame may have something to do with ADHD. I can neither confirm or deny that. All I know is I drank a lot of diet soda as a kid. And my ADHD is I think it's noticeable.
Ooh. I used to do that too for a while. Because I got hooked on like Diet Coke with lime. Specifically, that taste.
Orange soda. Doesn't matter. If it's real, it was really sugary. But then I was always still thirsty afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
The diet, it wasn't quite as sweet, but it's like it had that taste. And it's like something about that familiar taste and everything. Oh my God. Were we drugged as children?
Oh, yeah. Well, y'all would.
I love the immediate response of somebody not even of this realm. It's like, oh yeah, well, I mean you were, but it's like,
yeah.
In common parlance, it's like, oh yeah, you children got a lot of drugs. It's like, I remember there was a court case back in the day. My dad told me about it. It was against McDonald's because apparently,
it's not an accident either. It's not an accident. It's intentional. Just so you know.
You mean spraying all the buns used in kids' meals with sugar?
Wow. Yeah,
oh, McDonald's is fine. Oh, a sugar top bun. No wonder they were so tasty. It's like
Oreo got in trouble for putting addictive chemicals in their cookies. They're not in there anymore because they got in trouble.
When you say addictive, I mean, unfortunately, isn't that what we're incentivizing for? We're like, go capitalism, but it's like, okay. When we say we want reasonable regulation, what do we mean by that? It's like,
you can get addicted to anything.
True.
But like they put in something that like forces like nicotine has stuff in there that makes your brain addicted. Whereas you can get addicted to a habit. That's you developing that habit and having a hard time breaking it. But drugs is a different story. There's actually chemicals in there that make you need, you need the thing. Your brain has receptors for it now and needs the thing. They had that in their Oreos, and they got in big trouble and had to remove the chemical because obviously they weren't putting it on their packaging like, hey, may cause addiction and stuff.
Were they aware that there was known science and stuff like that it
Yeah,
caused
it was intentionally put in there to make
Oh.
Oreos addictive. That's
And
how they
something
beat
that's
the
targeted towards children as well as big
ladies.
kids. And yes, everybody that likes tasty snacks. I think that is that the
That was a
uniting
big deal. It was a
category?
big freaking deal all over the news and crap. Like, I was surprised that Oreos survived it, and all they got was, yeah, you gotta take that out of there. It had no business being in there in the first place.
Wow. I have you turned up to almost 200%.
Wait, am I quiet again?
Oh no! I'm just trying to make sure I'm not blowing out everyone's ears in that what I'm hearing is the 200%, or
Oh.
is Fizz blowing out anyone's ears? I mean, I often do that, but
Let me know. I guess chat if I'm.
welcome, Sherry. Yes, the show is getting deeper than we may have intentionally done there. Yeah, I see. Rick is saying that the claim is that aspartame is a dish best served cold. The terrible thing is, I am not going to disagree with that because I really liked my diet orange soda really cold. It seemed kind of best when it was like almost. I think I actually may have used to freeze. Oh my god, this might explain a lot. Um, and that's a wonderful thing that I kind of like about science, about different stuff. It's like people say things, it's just even a little comment like that, and if there happens to be maybe it's wrong, maybe it's a complete BS. It is the internet, but when you actually start to look into different things, and especially depending upon the sourcing and stuff like that, it's like there might be a certain degree of credence. Yeah, I see you there, Vlad. Yes. There is much propaganda. Yes, it is complete bullshit. Yes, that's actually a good way to go around it. Oh, I can't wait. See, here's the thing. It's like we are the dreamers and we are the weavers of dreams. It's like if we are the memers and the memers of memes, it's like let's just meme. It's like I'm literally listening to some of these Wolfram research development things. It's like some of the things that they're literally using now for like the Wolfram language, which like Stephen Wolfram's like big thing is like naming functions and using words for different stuff and things that they're going to use in the Wolfram language purportedly forever. Once they choose a name, they're stuck with it. They've already chosen a bunch of names that like ChatGPT and like other AI programs have recommended. Like the thing literally just BS'd out a function that it thought existed. That function did not exist. It did not work, but the name of that function was actually a good idea. So they've actually implemented some of those names and basically more or less created some of those functions. I think I see that. Oh, okay. My thing is, if Skynet if ever ends up actually being a thing, if it was Professor Wolfram as the leader, I might not always agree with the decisions. I think I would be okay with that. It's a terrible thing to say. A lot of folks are talking about autocracy. It concerns me. It concerns me. But yes. So what's new, Fizz? We go from like the digital rulio autocracy of the crazy Steven, the thing that I love, it's just like Wolfram is not a publicly traded company. He just does things that he enjoys doing. And I'm pretty sure he has that point in, I think with Dr. Eric Weinstein would call it the FU money and stuff like that. It's like, even in his TED Talk, like 10 years ago, he's like, I happen to be a fairly successful CEO. I may be fairly eccentric and stuff like that, but I also have resources, so it's like, I can do these things. I'm like, that's cool. That's why I say a lot of folks are like, oh, he's a genius. Go on.
No, I'm just saying, do it. If you could do it, do it.
Well, that's the thing. Follow your dreams and everything. Hey, Des. Well, welcome. I see you there, Thomas. Yes. But my big thing is, okay, to get back to what I was actually trying to talk about before, ADD stuff and things, but the Cosmic Council. We want to actually talk about like uniting this universe of stuff and things. We're gonna be basically a C-tier Justice League for the internet. That is the initial goal. Wait, no, that's a high goal. That's a high goal because Saitama started out as what, class F, class D, or what maybe with class C? I don't know.
Ugh.
We want to be a C-tier Justice League for the internet. We'll work our way up. And if we actually have science and stuff to back us up and we're entertaining and stuff like that, then I think it will work. It's also cross advertising.
Yeah.
You or Piper or G Iggity, if we'll talk about G Iggity. Well, you might have to screen some of G's stuff for reasons. I'm sorry. I apologize for being speciesist. I pull out my scaly card. This is why I have this here. Give me my scales for just a moment. I need to just turn that into card. Well, see, that's the whole thing. It's like, I actually love like these live things too, especially if you have like a good group with good chemistry. Kind of like if you're playing Destiny or basically if you're playing anything and you have a good group, it makes it so much better and it tends to increase your chances of actual success.
Yeah, and it makes the whole adventure way more fun. If you get the right people, even failing can be really fun too, just because like the bants and the laughing and the...
Oh my god, the banter. The banter in World of Warcraft just getting so incredibly wasted. It's like, all right, I'm gonna pull like this thing. Where did you pull it from? It's like, oh, it's from over here. It's like just farming orbs for like Crusader enchants and stuff like that. It's like, okay, we don't have a tank. We have a rogue. He has full like Grand Marshal gear and stuff. He's got a lot of health. As long as they don't do that much physical, it should be fine. Oh god, the last just heal pump. The paladin can take some damage for a while. It's like, oh, do we have a warlock? Maybe there was a soul stone or something left over. It's like, we could do. All I know is if you have enough DPS, it's like you don't need to be able to tank as much damage because you got 3 mages launching a lot of damage. It's like, those Scarlet Spellcat. Yeah, you're not really gonna.
Back in the day, back in WoW's like prime days, me and somebody else could 2-man stuff. We were almost a full party because it was I was a hunter and he was a warlock. Yeah.
The pets.
Yes.
So his dots and distance.
Yes. His whatever he summoned was basically like the tank. So we would let it go out and pull things, and we would stay in the back. And I always had my pets were all the different kinds. I was collecting every kind of wolf in WoW.
Of course.
Because of course I was, yeah. But what I can't remember how I had the wolf done up. But basically the wolf was pretty much an off tank.
That's where.
So yeah, the pets would go in and pull everything and do the dirty work, and then both of us were AoE spamming everything, and we were starting to get sought out by other people to be in their group, in their parties. And at least at the time, like DPS players were a dime a dozen. It was the tanks and the healers that were harder to find. So the fact that tanks and healers were coming to us going, "Hey, will you be our DPS?" It was like pretty bitchin'.
It's good to be, well, because it was also the dynamic of like, all right, the total damage done over that number of characters at that point. If you think about it, you go from a 5-man party, or you have a 4-man party. Okay, it might not necessarily be a whole character, so to speak, but back in the day, Soul Link was freaking broken.
Oh my gosh.
No, when you went up the pet tree, because of Warlock, it's like, okay, it usually doesn't instant damage you. It could, if you do a Curse of Doom and you're, yes, it can do a lot of damage. Or a good Shadow Bolt or something like that can happen. But when you Soul Link with a pet, it's like, all right, you have something that it doesn't take a lot of damage. It doesn't matter what type of damage you're doing to it, depending on what it was, it could. And it could do decent damage to you. It was hard as heck to kill. The Warlock was hard to kill as well. It's like the Warlock was basically a tank. The pet was a tank. If you could have another thing to spam DPS and another thing, and because a Warlock and Hunters, like they also like were pretty good for debuffs, right?
Yeah.
So you're lowering the damage output anyway. So I'll be straight up, Fizz. Like, this is how I think I learned how to actually understand math. Just because what right there, it's like, what are we doing? We're doing a rough estimate of like through like an instance and stuff like that. And if you look at it, it's like, okay, you have the total damage, but it's also situational damage as well. So like that's another vector for potential damage as well. And like until you played classes, like I never really played. I cheesy leveled up like a bunch of like all the different classes to 60 back in the day.
Like back in the day too, where you could cross trees. You didn't have to pick a tree and stay with it. You could put points into any of the trees. Man, some character builds were just freaking sweet.
There were I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was a 3-minute mage back in vanilla. Actually, to be fair, back in vanilla, was it for Naxxramas back in the day? As long as I didn't get one of my pyroblasts resisted and I caught the ignite, I was gonna do the most damage for the Lotheb fight, because that's the thing where it's like, all right, you're gonna be critting basically the whole time, and if you have that higher percentage for your crits within the arcane tree. So it was like you were, I think, was it 60 levels? They never start you off for one. So it was like 31 arcane and then 30 to fire. You lost a little bit of like that higher end fire damage for like your plus damage, but your spike damage was higher. And since it was assumed you would spike and threat wasn't a factor for that fight, you just go to town. See, look at how nerdy we are, and we're communicating on things. It's like, all right, it's like maybe you didn't play it back in the day. Maybe you're playing some of the vanilla right now, but Piper obviously told you about it because nerding. So, like, I mean, if you break it down, that's what are you doing? Vector mechanics with your character. You're motioning through a particular space. You're trying to accomplish something. What is the thing? It's like, if you're magnets, we still might not understand how magnets really work. I still know they're really cool, but typically, like, different magnets, like, they'll, like, attract. The same, like they'll push away. Like, those are, like, very simple things. And it's like, all right, you just view that. It's like, I'm a character in the game. I want to do this. It's like, I'm going to go aggro this thing at the end of the instance. We have a height advantage for a bit of time. We have a whole bunch of there. We have a really good tank. We have a whole bunch of like 30-minute and hour-long buffs we can blow. We can do this.
Oh, yeah. Well, I do think it's funny, because I feel like almost any kind of game, maybe not every, any kind of game, you've got the math people playing, and then you've got the not math people that still play. Because, so for like doing raids in WoW, you've got the people that will sit there and do like all the math and calculations with the all right, so you guys at max can do this much DPS when you're doing this, and they'll sit there and crunch numbers and stuff to decide who put in the party and stuff, and I'm sitting there like, rain arrows goes burr.
Well, I mean, if that's your role, if your role is AOE, just scatter and everything.
Oh, it's just interesting. The ones that will. So like the Pokemon, right? I like the Pokemon games, and I know people that when they play the Pokemon games, they are all about like the math and the stats, and I need to breed this one with this one in order to get one with this, and blah, blah, all these numbers, and I'm just kind of like, I don't even know where y'all are getting those from. Charmander, go burr, like.
Charmander's supposed to go fleur. Why you fetch the chair. But I think you get that from their Pokedex and everything, and they have files and stats and stuff on them. Although I'm not gonna lie, even within physics, they often use beauty as a guide. So it's like, okay, also explanatory power also kind of helps. So it's like, all right, if it's shiny, that might also be a good sign.
Oh, yeah.
Is that how you decide like how to breed your Pokemon?
I want pretties. I am really bad. My team is made up of who I think looks really cool or really cute.
I mean, I'd say that I think a lot of people are kind of like that as well. Yes, Dan, like,
I mean, I still go based on their moves, their capable moves, their types, and stuff like that. But whoever actually ends up in the main party is whoever's the prettiest of that type that has the moves I need.
I had people in WoW tell me it's like that's how they created their character. It's like, I model my character after Scarlett Johansson. Why? I think Scarlett Johansson is beautiful. If I'm going to have to follow a character around, I want to follow around Scarlett Johansson. I'm like, I understand that logic.
Yep, there was one time I asked a friend, a male friend, why he always played female characters, like didn't even consider playing a male character. And the answer made sense. If I'm gonna look at a character's butt all day, or the whole time, I want it to be a chick's butt, not a dude's butt. For like the third person thing. Or, if I'm gonna look at this character, I want to look at what I want to look at, not and I don't feel like looking like a dude or looking at a dude. And I was like, oh crap, I made them all chicks because I wanted to make them look like me.
I hear it. Well, and to be fair, very often in a lot of those games, you're wearing a cape like fairly quickly in most of those games at some point or another. So it's like, I'm like, well, I want to play a gnome mage. I'm gonna play a gnome mage with a crazy like double mohawked haircut. Why? Because I can. And they technically had higher intellect, which added a little bit more credit, and they were hard to see in PvP because you hide in a bush.
I did mostly like just want to make them look cool, not necessarily like me, but maybe like how I wish I looked, make them look cool. But yeah, I keep them as chicks every time. But then there's also the that goes along with WoW and other like RPG type games where you actually see the armor that you put on and stuff. There's the stats versus appearance problem. Yes, this one has way better stats, but it looks stupid on me. This one with lower stats looks great on me. On my character, rather. Or it doesn't match everything.
Didn't they just end up going into like you can have it look to you? I don't know. I know what you're saying. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like full disclosure, my original main back in the day was a gnome mage, and all I know, full Netherwind armor, tier 2 mage armor looked fantastic. Even on a gnome, it looked pretty cool because you had like the floating balls on the shoulders and everything there. You had like the gem up there and everything. Oh, it's kind of like your gem in a way, except I think it was a bit broader as well. But all I know is it was great. It actually had good bonuses, but I tend to think it's like, I think the 5-piece bonus and then like having your other like, all right, here's more damage, here's some more crit and everything like that, more stats and everything. Like, because wearing that, like, oh my god, whatever that helmet was, it's like, it didn't look as cool. It didn't have like the extra like glowing piece of like plasma or whatever there. It did a lot of damage.
I kind of feel like when a lot of games started just implementing this, oh, don't worry, you can make your armor look like anything you want. So just
It
mix
takes
and
away
match
some
all
of the
your stuff.
flair.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, it takes away kind of a dynamic to the game where you're sitting there like, okay, do I want to look like I rolled around in my closet but be pretty strong? Or do I want to look like I actually like put some thought into this but not have as many cool buffs or as good armor, but it'll look good? Like, I think that aspect was another fun dynamic to a game. Uh, that is kind of sucks. It kind of sucks when games take that out. Uh, Rip, good WoW. You were fun back in the day.
I was tempted to start again because I heard I could be as a dragonkin.
I almost went back when I found out that I could be a Worgen, but they're alliance, so I was kind of like,
I love how sad you got right there.
I don't even have the sad button, so I'm like working really hard getting it to
I
recognize what my
know it
face
was
is
so
doing.
it was so obvious. I'm just like, wow, she was so disappointed.
Yeah,
I
I
I
was.
admire your dedication to the Horde. I mean, I
Yes.
grew up Alliance and everything, but I got along with a lot of like really cool Horde folks. Like there was this undead rogue from like I forget it was on Shadow. It was Nosepick. He was always causing our. I think he helped teach me how to like learn to fly once we got to like Outrealms at one point because I'm not endorsing cheating at a game. I'm simply highlighting creative use of game mechanics. I think it was before they really they fixed it. But essentially, there was a thing like once you got to Outland and everything. After a while, there was a patch where apparently, like when you were on Outrealm and everything, you could fly on a mount or something like that. You had your degree of flight at different speeds and everything. Okay, so apparently there was a bug where somebody of the opposite faction basically frosting over to you, and I think crit you because I think that was the thing. They need to hit you with like another frost attack. It puts you in a weird state. It puts you in the state of swim. So essentially, you could swim while you weren't in water, like swim through the air. You could mount up, but your mounts were still basically only going, I think, like base speed or something like that. They were in effective swim state while in the air. So basically, you could be there and literally just like do ranged attacks and everything. You weren't really moving all that fast, but we showed up to a Lord Kazakh, like the Doom Lord thing at the beginning there, because like he wasn't that hard. He was on farm or something at that point, but it was like we show up there just like riding in on like the Alteric Valley like yaks or whatever. Like my rogue buddy has a giant potion and everything. He's just showing up. He's showing up. People are like, what the heck is going on and everything. And then I think we had to break the state or something because it's like, oh, we don't want. I don't know. I don't know. It was just, yeah, the good old days.
Those were the days.
At that point, it's like, wait a second. Should we two man like this like Reaver thing and what are this Death Valley places? I don't know, wherever freaking oh my god, I forget all Illidan. No. Is it Illidan? The crazy demon guy with the bandana. My chair falls apart. But no, I think it was Illidan's temple. Yeah, the big machine guy out there, it's like, all right, he can't hit us. He can only do that AoE thing every minute. It does a lot of damage. But we're both in the air and you're a paladin and I'm a mage. I can spam Scorch forever, roll some ignites. How long are we willing to like float here? I think our guild will be pissed at us because there's a good chance it's going to drop something that neither of us are going to use. Let's not do this. Well, you're wasting resources. Why are we going to do it? Just so we can say we could? I could have used something, but I could have easily gotten it before from other raids. These things happen. Hey, welcome, Fractal. But yes, we've been just rambling on about this and that. But okay, full circle. We're going to be starting a Cosmic Council. You, Piper, or even Giggity. The house of the digital realm and the multiverse. all you ladies are welcome.
Awesome.
We'll work out details because right now I think it's mostly ladies I have on my list. You, Jen, because Jen said she said let's call it the Cosmic Council. She taught me. Jen basically she bashed into my head. It's like singularities and black holes are different things. They're not necessarily the same thing. I was throwing those words around, and I'm sitting here. I'm like, oh, I think I was saying words without knowing what they meant. So those are that's useful. And also Kali as well. I think Kali was here a little earlier. All of different models for stuff and things. Like I said, you helped me, and it's also just good to get a different perspective because it's like we have all our own ideas, all our things in our heads. I have a lot of things in my heads. Sometimes they make sense. Sometimes 낮에는 따사로운 인간적인 여자 커피 한 잔에 여유를 아는 품격 있는 여자 오빤 강남스타일 강남스타일 오빤 강남스타일 Yeah, so that's going to be a thing. So that's what's going on with you.
I'm going on a trip.
Oh, you going anywhere fun?
No, just Texas.
Texas is cool. Well, I mean, it's usually very often hot, but that's cool. No, you've been there before.
I'm gonna stay in the AC. Yeah, I'm going back to there. To chill, to relax, to have some Zen moments. Find some inner peace. Piper needs it really bad, although she says me going with her defeats the purpose. But she's letting me go anyway, so whatever.
I mean, it's good to have friends.
Yeah, and she said that she's going to, that she's told everybody she works with that she's going to take a little break for the trip, and she is going to start writing as many chapters as she can of my lore in the form of, instead of comic book, a light novel thingy. That when we get back, she will actually start releasing chapter by chapter. I think she said weekly. So it could be read like a web novel, basically.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think she said we're gonna release it on Wattpad, and then if it's read from there, that's cool. You do?
I've done stuff there before, yeah.
Sweet. Yep, that's where we're gonna put it. So her first story there is gonna be my lore. The hard part is she said she doesn't want to be in the story, and I'm like, how do we explain where I got a hold of video games from, and like where I've been freeloading and where the snacks come from and stuff like that. So she and I are debating back and forth as to whether or not she's going to be in there just with a different name, or if we're going to like make up somebody to be her.
Here's what you could do.
But then my lore won't be as factual.
No, release it as censored. Just literally have just put a box. I had to do this with Arlo at some point because when I had a video after going to PAX a few years back, I got a chance to interview him. I didn't even know who he was or stuff. Apparently, he reviews a lot of Nintendo stuff and everything. And he's a monster. He's of the Muppet verse, so it's familiar. We have friends that are Muppets and everything. And I did a thing with Arlo, and I interviewed him and his handler. And my initial thumbnail was it was a little revealing. Some folks pointed it out to me, and I'm like, oh dear, what have I done? Because I had to apologize, Fizz.
You have to apologize to the
I had
community.
Okay, so
Did you get a ukulele?
No, I did not get a ukulele. I didn't know that I could get a wind instrument or something no, a string instrument. God, I'm terrible at music. I really need to learn that for a lot of reasons. But to be fair, I didn't need to apologize. Somebody pointed out to me, so I went back. Oh no, spoilers! Spoilers! You could see his handler. Oh my god, Arlo is giving consent as far as I know right there. Yeah, so basically I blurred the original thing. And letting people know there's spoilers. Because we should be wary. Some people don't like the fourth wall getting broken all that much, even though that's the point of the show.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
I mean, these things happen. These things happen. But all right, so you're going to be having a trip at everything. So Fizz, I before we go, unless you need to disappear this exact second.
No, I'm not coming back to streaming until after the trip. My schedule, me and Piper's schedule combined just got really heavy, and we were both getting tired.
It's hard to do everything.
Yeah.
It is
We both want to stream, and that's wearing us out. We gotta figure it out.
I'm at least blessed. Well, I say this as somebody that pretty much, hopefully, I believe I didn't permanently disable myself while cutting through some thrush. I cut myself good, like right on my knee.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I was so lucky because it's like, I don't sell knives. I used to sell knives, like Cutco, the world's finest cut. It is good. It is good knives. Very expensive. But the thing is, like, I hit myself. I'm like, I didn't think it was like that. It went right through whatever I was cutting. I hit my knee. I think it was mostly tang because it was a machete. So like, there's like some tang running up there, but it caught like the end of the blade, and I'm like, oh, that did chop my knee good. And it's like I felt it. I'm like, oh, well, that doesn't really. And then you move it, it's like, oh, this doesn't actually feel good. It's like that first day or so, oh, that was not good. And then a couple days rest. Okay, I'm gaining mobility again. It's okay. It seems to be healing up. I'm just like, that could have just gone horrifically in a different direction. It's like so many bad things could have happened because of that. I'm like, but essentially, I'm not having to do workout videos and other videos as well. Yes, because I'm the prime prognosticator of not doing things. But to wrap everything up,
I was going to tell you something actually about that. You reminded me. I seen it. Piper's comment on when you tweeted about that, and you know what she freaking did today?
What?
She used a pair of kitchen scissors to open something, and freaking cut her finger just right into it with like with the scissors, just pinched down and everything. Her finger was in the way while she was cutting something.
Fizz, if there's one thing I've learned, and this is something I learned from XX, if you and I count, then 3X Mrs. Memes. Essentially, some people are quite clumsy. Some people just have a natural condition about them that clumsy, eccentric thing. What's the worst possible zany thing that could happen? It happens. I somehow watched my ex at one point. It's like, so he put on a dress and everything. She was kind of model, wasn't good with heels, ends up like falling over, hitting a dresser, and then a vase literally like falls and like it smashed on her head, and then the rest of it like fell on the edge, and then her legs got cut. I'm like, I actually still have a picture of it too. I'm like, she's sitting with the glasses. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so. She could have just said like I threw stuff at her. It's like, no, I literally fell over into this stuff. It's like, yeah, those I could have told Piper don't play with scissors.
Yeah, it's but the best part is she used to claim that the reason why all the other scissors in the house were like these kids' safety scissors was something else. And then I found out not just from this incident, but from other people. No, the reason that all the other scissors in the house are safety scissors is because nobody will let her have regular scissors. But she had these hardcore kitchen scissors and managed to all the scissors. She managed to freaking.
Why does this just not surprise? I feel that's like. So okay, so Piper's supposed to be writing a book about you.
Yeah.
What if you low key wrote a book about Piper?
Oh, I'm not as good at writing.
No, the deep lore. Just jot down interesting things.
More interesting notes.
Yes, because I'm like, if Piper doesn't want to include certain bits in the book, we'll do cutscenes to it and breaking the multiverse. It's fine.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because the reason that like she told me we were gonna do a comic, a manga style, comic of my lore. And then what she said is that she's getting frustrated that she's got like 5 million ideas, and not enough time because making comics
Write
takes
them down.
time.
She needs
Yeah,
to write them down.
she's got a bunch of stuff started. Like, she's got a couple stories that are ready to go, ready for her to start working on. But she's got so many comics in the work already that she has no idea when the other stories are going to see the light of day. And so she started reading web novels before bed. She used to read comics before bed. And that's when she said she got the idea of she can get them out in her free time, at least in the form of episodic chapter by chapter stories, to get them out of her system, and then when there's finally time, adapt them into comic books. That also lets her test whether or not it's the story's popular enough to bother making a comic out of.
You know what she should also do? I know this is more work, but that's what people like Adega Outlaw and like Storyman Jack, like they do that. Like they have their episodic stories where like I think what was it? Storyman Jack, he does like I think more like one-shot things and stuff. But I know Storyman Jack, like he's like on like chapter 70 or something of like some like witch. I haven't really listened to much of it, truth be told. But it's like I'm like it's a lot to catch up on and everything. But I'm like you listen to some of it, it's like they're going through. You can have like a little bit of music. It's multi-platform content. It's actually what I kind of thought about doing before I got more lazy at one point, where I was like, wait a second, because I was going to do a news website too. So I was like, I'm going to write a story about a thing. I'll do a video about a thing, and then you can just rip the audio for like the article and stuff. So it's the best way to do it. I'm terrible at it. I barely advertise certain things at all. I'm just like, I went to business. I feel bad because I know how to do things in the way that's like, I'm going to start doing it. I will start doing it. I'll try to do it as a little more entertaining way. That is my promise to the people, to try to do a little better with the current state of shilling. But to wrap things up, to sum up what we've learned here is we go to our friends back during an easier / harder time of life.
I love it.
Pals for life.
Okay, guys. These eggs have given us a lot of trouble in the past. Does anybody need anything off this guy, or can we bypass him?
I think Leroy needs something from this guy.
He needs those devout shoulders. Isn't he a paladin?
Yeah, but that'll help him heal better. He'll have more mana.
Terrible things with the true story.
Christ. Okay. Well, what we'll do?
My favorite.
I'll run in first, gather up all the eggs so we can kind of just blast them all down with AOE. I will use Intimidating Shout to kind of scatter them so we don't have to fight a whole bunch of them at once. When my shout's done, I'll need Anthony to come in and drop his shout too, so we can keep them scattered, not to fight too many. When his is done, Bass, of course, need to run in and do the same thing.
The end of vanilla.
We're going to need Divine Intervention on our mages.
AE,
so we can, of course, get them down fast, because we're bringing all these guys. I mean, we'll be in trouble if we don't take them down quick. I think it's a pretty good plan. We should be able to pull it off this time. What do you think of Bill? Can you give me a number crunch real quick?
Yeah, give me a sec. I'm coming up with 32.33, repeating, of course, percentage of survival.
That's a lot better than we usually do. All right, thumbs up. Ready, guys?
Let's do this.
Well,
oh my god, he just ran in. Save him!
Oh, geez, stick to the plane!
Oh, Jesus. Let's go, let's go.
Man.
Stick to the plane, Shove.
Stick to the plane.
Oh, gee. Oh, fuck.
Well,
give me divine intervention. Hurry up.
Many well.
I can't
There's the intimidating
I can't move. Am I lagging, guys? I can't move. What the hell? I can't eat.
For those of you just joining us, every time something touches one of those eggs, it hatches and more whelps come out. Just that's basically the bit there is don't touch the eggs. It's kind of like, what is it, the game of Operation.
Oh, yeah, don't touch the sides.
Yeah, except instead of zap, you get a bunch of baby dragons angry with you. And that's, those broodlings got a little mad. And they got the bigger ones.
Oh my god. The eggs keep spawning. More respawning. I don't think you can cast with that shit. Oh my god. Shaq,
we got it. I got it.
Take it off.
Come on, stay down.
Use a good Arcanite Reaper.
God damn it, Leroy.
God damn it. Leroy, you moron.
Leroy. This is ridiculous.
It's all mass. I'm down. Forward down. God damn it. This is before I can leave all this. God.
Aggro the guards.
Why do you do this shit, Leroy? I'm trying.
Why do you do this shit?
Not my fault.
Who's Soul Stone?
We do have a Soul Stone up, don't we?
Anthony, do you got Soul Stone?
Warlock. Do we have a Warlock?
Oh, God.
Oh, for...
Great job, guys. For Christ's sake. Leroy, you were just stupid as hell. Over there.
At least I have chicken.
The best response ever. At least I got chicken. Hey, I could speak for one. I like chicken. It does a lot. But that's all we got. If there's any final thoughts?
I
gotta sing the Doom song now! Doom, 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 doom,
Well, here for the Monster Girl. Peace out, everybody.
I'm broken. You broke me. Oh no. Oh dear. You guys? You guys! I just want to hug some